Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Belaus with Feel Good Qigong, and I am a Qigong instructor, which is a beautiful practice to help restore what we have left and to repair what we've damaged over the years. So I thought I would talk about today, since we're talking about repairing a lot in Qigong, I mean, restoring. A lot of people I know have had COVID, and a lot of people have also told me that it's not so much the COVID that they felt so bad, but it was the aftermath of the COVID. They were still very tired, some headaches, congestion. Even for myself, I had a flu shot and I was down for the count for a couple of days. My husband had a shingle shot and he was sick for several days. And it took a while to kind of recuperate from that. So I just kind of want to show you a practice that you can do sitting down when you're not feeling so well. Now, you wouldn't really want to do too much movement if you have a fever. Fever, usually you just want to sleep it off and take care of yourself. You don't want to do too much anything that's exerting. But once the fever has gone and you're starting to feel a little bit better, this practice will help to kind of start restoring you and getting some of that juice back, and helping to repair some of the damage that you might have incurred from being ill. And some things, and it's also very stressful. It's stressful to feel sick because I think it's worrisome and it just takes a lot out of us. So, um, and Qigong is a general tonic. So we can use Qigong for just a general tonic every day. I feel like it's my multivitamin for the day. And so think of it as this little practice as a tonic to replenish your body. And we're going to do this through a few practices that are very beneficial. So you get a lot for your bang for your buck kind of thing for these little practices that can go a very long way for your health. So we'll get started. So find a really comfortable seat. I'm going to take this back a little bit so you can see me. Find yourself a very sturdy seat. And the most important thing is that your feet are completely flat on the floor. So you're touching your feet on the floor. You want to support your back also with something so you're not slouching, because that is the worst thing. To try to move when you're slouching, just going to compress you even more. So usually when you're not feeling well, you feel compressed. The whole body feels compressed. So we're going to try to lengthen it, and we're slowly, gently start to opening it, kind of like a new bloom of a flower. And you just slowly and gently start to kind of bloom back to your old self. So again, feet flat on the floor. You can do this without shoes because we're not going to be standing at any time. You want to find your sit bones, which are those two bones at the end of your spine, and just kind of go from side to side and you'll feel them. And once you feel them, then you root down. So your base of support will be your feet on the earth, will be your sit bones on the chair. And then another base of support, bring something on your back so you're not slouching, so you're comfortably seated. Just let your shoulders rest more towards the back of the body. And we're just going to gently start by just closing the eyes and just going inward and just notice how you're feeling at this particular moment. And it's good to compare notes from day to day of how you're progressing. So the first thing you want to ask yourself is, how are you physically feeling right now? With no judgment, just, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being your best self, how are you physically feeling from a scale of 1 to 10? And then just keep that number in mind. And after we're done with this little practice, we'll come back to see if if the scale has gone higher and how you're feeling. So give that a number. How are you feeling from a scale of 1 to 10? Being 10 the best, your best self. Okay, and then we'll come back. We're going to start with some basic stuff like a rotation of the body. And the best way to rotate is just start with the hips and with the stomach. So we're just slowly getting a little bit of movement in the body with a little bit of a rotation in the pelvis region, in the hip region, because that can get pretty tight from lying down and maybe lying on a couch that's not so comfortable. So we're just getting a little bit of movement here in a rotation. And you can do this, as you want to try to do more slow, you don't want to be whipping around. So just take your time with just finding that feeling of starting to get a little bit of movement in the spinal cord. Now, your spinal cord houses your nervous system. So it's really important. You probably have heard a lot about spinal cords and the importance of them, but they really, they hold us up. They're, or gravity. We're pulled down by gravity, and our framework of our bones and our spine really helps us to keep our frame strong. So it's important to get it moving, and just this little bit of movement. This might be all you want to do today, and that is perfectly fine. And then each day you can start to build up a little bit. Now with the feet, we're also going to just kind of tap the bottoms of your feet. Now tapping the bottoms of the feet helps to start to create a little bit of circulation. We can also shake the hands and the arms a little bit too. It'll bring also some circulation to the body. So this is a quick way to do it. We also work with meridian lines, which are electrical cords. There's 12 major meridians in the body, and each cord connects to a certain organ, and there are different points in the body that help stimulate that electrical cord. Now the bottoms of the feet is your kidney meridian number 1 and kidney 1, and that is important for fluids, moving your fluids, because that's what the kidneys do. They move all your fluids in your body. So again, if you've been lying down for a while, you might not have had much circulation. Just tapping the bottoms of your feet and just shaking your arms a little bit, you can even shake your head a little bit, that'll start getting some circulation going, and then we can stop. There's a meridian line. We're going to work on another line, electrical cord. If you bring your hands to your knees, and wherever your ring finger lands, there's a little bit of a divot. You'll feel there's kind of 2 divots there actually, but that top divot is where we're going to go for that stomach meridian 36, and we're just going to lightly tap it. This also brings circulation to the system as well. And stomach 36 is the Swiss knife meridian in the body. It's kind of like it does everything. It helps with everything. So again, a little bit of a knocking on the knees will go a long way for circulating your body, for stimulating it, helping with your digestive system, because that probably gets affected, when you're taking medication, and again, lying down, being immobile, the whole system kind of shuts down. So this is kind of getting the whole system going here. So tapping the bottoms of the feet, tapping stomach 36 right here at the side of the knee is going to help start stimulating your system. And this again might be all you're able to do, and that is perfectly fine. And then just hold that. We're going to do a little bit more tapping. Let's just rub our hands together, and we're going to tap. We'll start with tapping the crown of the head, all around the head. Again, this is nice for circulation, getting some stimulation going. And then you can tap around the eyes, because the eyes, they start to hurt too from not feeling well. Well, everything hurts, right? And then around the mouth and the jaw, move the mouth around a little bit, tapping lightly on the throat. And then we're going to come to the chest. Now, if you've been really congested, this is a really good one to do. Where the clavicle bones start, and you can feel them, they're a hard bone. That is, remember I said kidney number 1 is at the bottom of the foot, and it runs up the inside of the leg, and it comes all the way on the side of the body, and it ends here at the clavicle bone. So that's another line for the kidney meridian. So we tap the foot for the bottom of the foot, and it's also called the wellspring of the body is the kidney point. So we're tapping a kidney point here again. And then we're going to take this tapping to the sternum, a little bit below here. The sternum is your immune system gland, because it helps to produce your white blood cells. So again, if you're not mobile and you're lying down, that thymus gland is not working at its optimal level. So we're giving it a little bit of a nudge to start working a little bit more by this slight tapping. Now, if any of this hurts you in any sort of way, because your body is still sore, you can also just massage these areas as well. You don't necessarily have to tap them or thump them. You can also massage them just to get a little bit of stimulation. Now we're going to follow that clavicle bone. You'll feel it. It's a hard bone right to this little nest of the shoulder. This is also, we can start tapping this area. This is your lung meridian number 1. Lung 1 starts here. So we're tapping into that electrical cord for the lung. And then we can cup the hands or gently slap the hands onto the skin on the inside of the arm, which is all part of that lung meridian. And we can do that several times, just getting that lung meridian to start producing some of that energy to the lung, that electrical cord, turning on some of the juice to your body. So that's basically what we're doing. We're turning on some of the juice to our body that's been dormant for a few days. And we're going to tap the back of the shoulder a little bit. And now we come down the outside of the arm. And this is your large intestine meridian. So again, tapping, and you can also, go down the inside of the arm and then come up the outside of the arm for the large intestine. You just kind of work up and down here a little bit. And then bringing that arm behind you, you're also going to tap around the breast tissue. Then we have a lot of lymph nodes here, and the lymph nodes help to flush out the toxins in the body. Also really good for the immune system. Under the armpit, we have a lot of lymph nodes here as well. And you're going to tap down the side of your ribs. Again, your breathing might have been hard. Maybe your ribs hurt. So this just feels really nice there also. We're going to do the other side. We're going to come back to that thymus gland again, getting some of that stimulation to that thymus gland, which helps to really build up your immune system. And that's what you want to do. You want to build up your immune system now. And then you're going to encourage your body to start turning on those natural healing mechanisms that the body knows how to do. We just kind of have to wake them up. And then we're going to tap alongside that clavicle bone to the nest of the shoulder, which is that lung meridian 1. And then you tap lightly down the arm, and you can do this several times just to get some stimulation here for that electrical cord. Then turn your hand over, and then we tap the outside of the arm to the back of the shoulder, which is your large intestine meridian. So these two meridians, the lungs and the large intestine, help to filter out your toxins. So that's what we're working on. That and your lymph nodes and your skin as well is going to help filter out some of those toxins. I'm going to give yourself a little bit of a hand. This is going to wake up some of your proprioceptors, which are your sense organs, which has probably gotten also dull from lying down. Now bring that hand behind your head and then tap around your breast tissue. Again, we're just activating some of those lymph nodes. Those lymph nodes, they're like Pac-Man that you can just imagine Pac-Man just eating your toxins, getting some of that, the sickness, what you were feeling, starting to move it out of your body, starting to get that stimulation, and then down the side of the ribs as well. And then you can also give your whole trunk a little bit of a tap here again, getting a little bit of some stimulation. And then we'll tap this whole region here again. And getting some stimulation for the lungs, moving, hopefully nothing settled on your lungs, because once all that mucus starts to settle on the lungs, then bacteria happens, and then, it just gets worse. So we really want to get that moving, breaking all of that up. And then just hold. Take a couple nice deep breaths, and let's just raise the arms out just a little bit, bring them over your head, and then just wipe yourself clean. You can say, and bring a little bit of relaxation also. Inhale, gather some of that energy around you, restoring yourself, filling up your vessel, your reservoir of energy to help have a quicker recovery. And just do a little bit each day, as much as you can. Like I said, even if it's one thing from this little practice, and then you start to build up. And that's it. And I hope you have a speedy recovery and you start to feel back to yourself. Thank you for watching, and namaste to all.